What's up?
Hey.
We did not lie like we said we were not going to.
We gotta go.
I'm
Heidi!
here.
She's here. She's finally here. I don't have a card or anything, but I mean, off the top, I mean, ground theory woman's goat, um, amazing black belt, teacher of all things, all hobbies. We can get into that later. Um, you know, one of the sneak attacks, snake like on the mats.
Snake
And
leg.
yeah, and one that I think that we tend to all go to seek peace in moments of chaos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heidi, welcome. Welcome.
Thanks, Deja.
Yeah. So we're gonna get this rolling. We're on episode 26. Now we're past a quarter century old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're a quarter century and a week old.
Going strong.
Yeah, we are going strong. 2025, and we're in the interview business now. So just like we said, since we have our goat on now, and she's going to give us a great episode, everybody out there listening, you're going to be getting your receipts pulled. So be ready. All right. Well, general week. You already know how we do. Michaela, get us started. How's your week been?
All right. That's been good. Had a wrestling mixer on Tuesday. That went well. Got a lot of
A
pins.
wrestling mixture.
It was called a mixer.
Oh, what's that?
I guess a bunch of teams, and they just all mix the girls up and then pair them by like close weight.
Oh, okay.
So that
Nice. I thought it was like mixed gender or something.
No, it was a JV meet.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I did that on Tuesday, and then I've just been training, going to wrestling practice the rest of the week. So it's been good. I got my car back.
Oh. Yeah, we got the wheels back.
Yeah, so it's been good.
You just been driving around just to drive around?
No. I mean, I go to practice, and that's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you seem more energized and glowing this week than we were last week.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Heidi, I know you just told us you've been battling stuff for like probably, I don't know, like a month and a half now. Maybe not that long, but.
Oh yeah, it's coming up on a month since Christmas, honestly. So just trying to get back to training, but just fighting off this sinus, whatever crap is going around. I know a lot of folks are getting it off and on, so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just staying for weeks.
Hanging around.
Yeah, so we appreciate you battling the sickness again to be here. But outside of the sickness, I mean, before that all hit you, how was your week, Heidi?
Good. Just same thing. I mean, I was trying to get back into training after, of course, we all know that Jiu-Jitsu can come with injuries. So I've been battling some knee stuff for a little while. And then, we started working on the knee space, or the knee space, the new space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a toll on the knees a bit. And trying to get back on the mats and be there for you guys. So once I knock this,
you're always there, Heidi.
I'm there one way or another.
That's right. Well, we can't wait till you get back on the mats too. I know that's been a recovery time. Probably getting a little bit of that, a little bit, because I know, like you said, with jiu-jitsu, that kind of comes with the game, unfortunately, battling stuff with your body and trying to figure out new ways to train and to get back in there. And also rest is super important.
Absolutely. But, you could just be sitting on the couch and doing nothing and you'll be sore from that. So it is what it is.
Not wrong.
Dang.
Just so you all know, Heidi's gonna hit you with like a nice, while she's smiling, those kinds of one-liners where you're like, I need to get my life together and stop complaining.
I'm
So if
far from
anybody's
all
listening to this and they're
presentation.
on the couch, it's true. If they're on the couch and they just heard that, I bet you they got up.
Probably. Go take a walk.
Go outside, chop some ice. I don't know.
Shovel some
That's all
snow.
that's out there right now.
Yeah. Ooh, random. Speaking of snow. So this random thing came across my algorithm on YouTube the other day. I don't even know what I was watching, but it was some survival video. And it was like it was like surviving in this like crazy amount of snow. And so this dude like goes out into the snow and he has a shovel and he literally digs like a 3 foot, not tunnel, but like a hole. But then it was like a cave almost, like we were talking, it was a snow cave. And it was like a little apartment.
Oh yeah, get the heat in.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
sweet.
can see Heidi doing that.
Yeah, me too.
Not anymore. I don't like the cold anymore.
I mean, but you
I'm
could
getting
though
soft.
if you were forced to.
Or yeah. There's a possibility.
I wouldn't even think about that.
I bet
I-
Heidi would have a nice chimney and everything. Like you'd have a little fire going.
Little fireplace, some tea.
I was making sourdough.
I'm still on the surface level. We haven't dug anything because I don't know where to go. Yeah. But speaking of cold, it's getting a little warmer this week, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna feel good.
Mm-hmm. As tomorrow, we're recording on a Friday, but this weekend isn't going to get up to 40, or am I lying?
I think so.
It's gonna feel like 60.
Summertime, you're going to see people out there in shorts, tank tops, everything. And I'm going to look at everybody and I'm going to judge them.
Mm-hmm.
Because then that's how you get sick.
Yeah,
I didn't do
you're
any of
right.
that. Promise.
Dang. Okay. Well, this week in general has been a whirlwind energy week. I don't know if you both were feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I walked in, what was it, yesterday? And y'all looked like you went through, I don't know, apocalypse or like something just chaotic just came over y'all who had just went through the kids class because they put it on you. And I was just like, I've been seeing it in the adults, everybody's in this super stress energy. I don't know if I haven't been necessarily feeling it, or maybe numb to it. I think maybe it's been so much I turned numb.
Dang.
I think the kids are processing it a little differently. They were just having too much fun that, I don't know if we were learning much jiu-jitsu yesterday, but dang, they were having a good time.
Man. I mean, they were kind of, school-wise, they were cooped up.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, they were out of school for like 6 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
It's like that. It goes in waves, of course, like with summertime, return to school, right after they've gotten back to school, vacations. You can tell the energy changes for sure. Once you get into a rhythm, things are a little different. You just have to embrace it, Deja.
No, I think I would no, they would send me into like a nervous breakdown, I think.
Come try it out.
No. I don't know. I might it might get to like a kid is going to say something to me that's going to hit me too hard.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be like, no, I'm never coming back.
They'll speak the truth.
And we don't need the truth all the time. I already know internally. I mean, I was that kid though.
I bet you were.
Yeah, I was a little too out here as a kid. I would just tell people to their face how it was.
That makes sense.
They had to reel me in real quick. Yeah. I mean, it was like 6 to like 9, and then after that, I was good.
So 10-year-old Deja was fine.
I
I
just
don't
didn't
believe
say it
it.
out loud all the time.
Yeah, that makes
I think
sense.
you owe it to yourself to come work with kids class a little bit then.
Whoa, dang, Heidi.
Yeah, come do it.
I don't know. Let me fester on that for weeks.
Fester, not marinate.
Okay, I'm festering now because marinade. You can only marinate for so long. Then you just over. Can you do that? Can you over marinate something?
Yeah, probably. Start a little bit.
All right. Well, so we don't get lost in the sauce here. We tend to do that. Sorry, Heidi. But
Well, I'm used to it.
since we, it's like reeling in a herd. Like we're just scattered everywhere. Yeah. So since we got Heidi on finally, after months of planting our little seeds, watering them, letting them grow, reverse pivot last week. Now it's game time.
Yeah. How big are our trees now?
Ooh, okay. Revisit to our sequoias. Did you know we were growing sequoias? Heidi?
Nope.
Yeah.
Maybe you mentioned it. Maybe.
Spirit, life, soul sequoias. We planted these when we started the pod, right?
Where are they located?
Um, yeah, just in the ambiance
and the universe.
Well, we were like bush-like a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bush
And I was
size.
yeah, like 2-3 feet. Is that a bush size or is that too big for a bush?
No, I think
that's
that
right.
sounds right.
Okay, so we're like torso level, I think now.
All right.
Like or like chest.
Waist.
Yeah. What's after a bush? like like in the progression of a tree growing.
Tree.
Yeah, a small tree.
I mean, past the
Okay.
sapling.
Yeah. Like we've been established. Like you can't just like if some kid was running and they like ran into us, we're not gonna snap. Like I think we're established
Your
and we
roots
can
are
be
deep.
seen. Yeah.
All right, so we're a thick tree.
On the ethereal plane.
That means we're strong and sturdy right now. You know what? I'm gonna take it.
All right, we're a thick young tree.
Roll with it, enlightened ones. That's our listeners, Heidi, the enlightened ones.
Yep.
All right, now let us skirt back into what we're all here for. Kayla and I are going to alternate. I think, our questioning. We're not going to pepper you. But, I mean, to get us started, because I know, like, obviously, like, Heidi was a huge influence for me. You were the first, I don't know if it was you. I think it was you who emailed me back when I was just a little young buck and was like, I think I want to do jiu-jitsu. And I emailed and I said, hey, can I try out a class? And so I came and then almost died during the warm-ups. And I was like, why does it feel like Hades in here? This gi I have on is like 15 pounds. And Heidi was just giving me the same smile, welcoming. And then I was like, I'm going to sign up right after.
Yeah, I can probably go back and find that little email from Baby Deja.
Dang, probably. Baby D. That's right.
We were in that little second floor. Got super hot up there.
Yeah, it did. It was an instant like 30-degree change, like 2 steps.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Walking
Where
up
were you
there.
guys at on the second floor?
A little complex that was like right across from Sonic off of 31st.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was like an old
Yeah.
dance studio.
The mirrors back
Well,
there.
upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see yourself suffering.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I wasn't there for Michaela's, like, coming in. Did you? Was Heidi, like, what was your first encounter with Heidi?
mm, I don't remember.
Whoa.
I mean, it's all mixed together. Like, it's all,
All right. Like mashed
like,
potatoes and corn.
yeah. Like, I remember getting there, and then I remember talking to Josie, and Josie's like, you should, or she mentioned Heidi, and she was like, she's her lady black belt, like one of the only ones in Kansas, like really hyping Heidi up. I'm like, okay. And then I remember Heidi showing me stuff, but
Yeah.
nothing. I don't know. My memories aren't like super clear.
Nothing
That's
too
okay.
crazy.
But
That's all right. Yeah, mine aren't either.
well, just because they're mixed together
Yeah,
doesn't
all
mean
right.
we don't like them. Mashed potatoes and corn.
No,
Throw
you're
some
right.
gravy on it. Perfect combo. Yeah. So obviously, Heidi's been there from the very beginning. So walk us through, like, what got you into training? What was your exposure to all of that?
So we were Matt and I. When I say we, for those who don't know, uh, we were in the military, both of us, and I never really knew anything of martial arts as a kid. I did gymnastics and ballet, and then throughout high school, like field hockey and track. And
Oh, field hockey.
Yeah, ballet
yeah,
to field hockey.
Right, whoa.
hey,
That's
ballet
wild.
gymnastics as like a little kid, and then
Okay.
school age stuff. I mean, there weren't. I think there were probably karate places around town and stuff like that, but it was all little boys, so it just it wasn't like marketed to little girls so much. But
Mm-hmm.
then as an adult, we got stationed in New Jersey, and like it was not too long after we got settled in 2007 whenever we both started karate. So that was actually our first. Matt had done a little bit before, but that was my first little dabbling in martial arts. And I think we did it for, yeah, it was fun, we did the forms and katas and stuff like that. And well, Matt got bored, and I was like, stick around a little bit longer. I'll figure out, some of these things. But I eventually got a little bored too, because the katas and stuff are beautiful. But once I started jiu-jitsu, it was kind of cool to see the evolution of it, like from someone who's day one to someone that's so incredibly good, and everything that goes into that is pretty amazing. So, um, let's see, Matt started about 6 months before me, and I don't think there were any women, and it was a place that was a little far from where we lived at the time. So eventually it got to be too much of a drive for him. So he found a little place. It was actually a little wrestling gym, maybe more like a garage. And this purple belt started having classes there. And so Matt started going there first, and then said, hey, his wife sits off to the side. Maybe if you came in and wanted to train, she would want to train too. And that's what happened. And that's how I got started. And so it was just the two of us women for quite a while. And then we found just moving around military and stuff like that, and moving jobs, because I got out during that time also. So I was moving around civilian jobs. So I kind of hit the right place. And then we started, I was still a white belt. I believe Matt was too, or almost to blue. And then we started at the kind of the last school before we came out here and started our own. Started training there and went from white to purple at that same place. And over time, this was late 2000s, so it started becoming more popular. Um, Classes were pretty small at first, and then it got popularized a lot by USC and everything. So it started to grow. More women started to train. you're seeking each other out because for most of the training, it's, hard to find someone else my size.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make me want to do it less. Maybe some days when you're getting smashed by wrestlers that are smaller than you, but know what the hell they're doing. And
Mhm.
so that was the first kind of toe in the water with jiu-jitsu.
Dang. So we went from ballerina,
I don't know if
karate,
I call it that.
not ballerina. We had field hockey in there. Can you fight in field hockey?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not common. Let me say that. Can you?
No.
Sure.
Heidi out there.
Yeah.
Your
I mean,
arm with the hockey stick.
that's the best part of ice hockey is the fighting.
This is just
Yeah.
on an open field, so there's no like, wall or anything for this to. There's no penalty box. I don't know.
Dang. So you mentioned, so real quick before we get to this, like a sub question, well, one on here,
Yeah.
but like I remember you being a purple belt when I came in,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about. So where does that put you on how long you've been training? Like total?
2007, 17 years.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
weird
that's
to say it.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're almost to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be a big milestone.
We'll have to
Absolutely.
throw a
Yeah.
party.
You're 18, I
Lock
guess.
in.
Yeah. Now we gotta do a
Ages
lock-in
gonna
this
find a
year.
way.
Oh yeah, lock-in's happening this year. I don't know why you like it's gonna happen this year. Have you
Matt,
considered a popcorn machine?
Not yet.
Well,
I'll be on the lookout.
what were you saying, Michaela?
I was gonna say Matt's turning 50 soon. We could throw a
Oh,
lock-in for Matt.
he is. That's in March.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a perfect time.
All right. We'll tell him about it.
Wow. All right. 17 years. All right. Well, you got the next one, Michaela.
Yeah, I was wondering how hard was it training and coming up when you only have like one other female partner to train with? Like how hard was that training with men and getting smashed and they're bigger and stronger than you? Was it difficult learning jiu-jitsu dealing with that?
Yes and no, meaning it had like some good side effects, I guess. So the I tend to try to stay with the folks my size if I could. And then of course, just like it is now, you get a little more comfortable with the upper belts because they've had a lot more training. They've been around a lot more training partners and they know how to roll with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when, like there was this one kid and he was just, wrestler, small, but smashed me every time. And
Oh.
I'm talking probably like the first year or so of training. And, but what does it help you develop? Like, I really started to develop my guard. I really started to figure out how much I could control someone with like that part of my body and not have to worry about not having strong, upper body or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
the unintended, like, side effect is that you have to become much more technical, much quicker. If you want to, not be just sitting under someone getting smashed in side control.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah,
figure it out.
how long did it take you to go from white to purple?
White to purple. Purple was right before we moved to Kansas. So 6 years minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got, like everyone in life, our things that would come up, military stuff or moving or whatever. So 6 years on average is probably pretty good for anyone because someone else is going to have a job change or a move or something's going to happen that, just kind of puts your training on hold or puts you through a period where you can't focus on it so so much, but you can always come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember at one point, your elbow, you were like rehabilitating your elbow, and you
Yeah.
were getting back on the mats. And Heidi was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna train my legs, so let's roll." And I'm like, "Okay." I think you
That's
put me in
hard,
like three or
Deja.
four different triangles
Dang.
with no arms.
See,
Oh,
thanks
that's
to that
awesome.
wrestler, I had to develop that guard, and that's where my whole game started.
It makes sense now.
Yep.
Yeah, that was memorable. Clearly,
Yeah. I wish I was there to watch that.
yeah.
Mm.
It was a wild time. I was like, I'm really trying right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
really. I had that bone spur that grew for whatever reason, kind of years of irritation or whatever, and I had that bone spur, removed, and it was a pretty good recovery. That was pretty intense, but for a while after, I'm sure I was healed and structurally fine, but I had a lot of fear of like posting on that arm and hurting that elbow again, which I think, happens to a lot of people after they have injuries. It might not be realistic fear, but it's still, you
that
guard those
phantom pain could be there.
things. Yeah. But yeah, so what else can I do? I'm ready to get back on the mat, like, and from a cardio sense and from a healing sense, but I didn't want to sit up and post on that arm, so work on the legs, work on the lower body. Most of the time, train around things.
Yeah. Just know it can be done, everybody. It can be
Probably
done.
possible.
So when you were talking about, like just getting smashed by big dudes and like trying to figure that out and being more tactical on the as a newbie though, when you think about your learning curve and like just like we know if like things are just there's so many steps to do jujitsu and one move and you're like looking at a move but I don't have my footwork down kind of things,
Sure.
or I don't have my stance to get the right motion with my footwork. As a newbie, when you started off, did you find yourself being like super excited? Did you find were there pockets of like obviously everybody gets frustrated, but like was like were there like those walls where you're like, am I gonna get any better kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, never found jujitsu training to be a straight line, right? A straight line upward where you're just, oh, okay, every day I'm learning a little bit more. It may be true, but, implementation is a whole other thing. So you you have your good days and your bad, and I think that's the same throughout the whole journey. Maybe you have less bad days as you go on because you've got a little more foundational skill, but I think like the perseverance that you have to develop to continue training is something that, you can hone that skill a little bit, but it's got to be there a little bit in and of yourself, right? You've got to want to work through something. Like you're going to get armbarred, you're going to get choked out. Do you want to figure out why it's happening, or do you just want to give up?
Dang.
Is that hard?
Another one.
Yeah, well, you get armbarred the first time, right? Michaela might not remember. You get armbarred the first time, you get armbarred 50 more times, but like they just too far. It's too far in your past to remember. Do you remember, just those initial things, and you're like, oh my God, like what are they doing to do this? Like how many times did it take you to
Oh
figure
yeah.
out
Well,
how to back that up and start defending it? It takes a
Well,
while.
I remember it was like my posture, just getting like being like not getting swept so easy, like
Yeah.
figuring out like where your weight should be because I was just like, why am I getting so like swept all the time? And you're thinking
Mhm.
you're based, yeah.
Yeah, I
And then you
remember
just
those days. Deja sweeping me all the time.
now it's like it's extremely hard now.
Mhm. Yeah, I do remember my first arm bar in a competition when my arm popped, my elbow popped,
Oh,
and I was sore for like a month or two. But I mean, it hasn't happened since, so we're good.
oh, you remembered.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got to figure out what's the point of no return, right?
Mhm.
And it
I
does. It takes
know.
a while to figure that out.
I should have probably tapped, but I fought out of it.
Don't feel we've all been there, and we
Mhm.
all tell everyone, "Hey, make sure to test early on,
Mhm.
especially a competition." But you've got to experience it for yourself. You know.
Mm-hmm. You're right. But that perseverance piece is a really big one. I think if you don't get that ego, if everybody has an ego, like an ego's not bad, but however, when it reacts in certain ways, and then, like you said, if I'm not trying to figure out the why I'm getting armbarred or swept 50 times, then you're just going to get in your own way. And then, like you said, you're just going to quit. You're
Yeah.
not going to last.
Yeah, you want to see it. You want to see progress, right? We all do, but it's definitely not going to be immediate, and you might make some progress and then backtrack. It's a, it's kind
Yeah, was there a certain stage where you felt like you had more like downs or like was there a certain belt that felt harder or tougher to persevere
honestly, I think
through?
the later part of white belt was probably the hardest because
Mm.
everyone, well, not everyone, newer folks don't know they're just trying to survive too, right? So they're just giving you whatever they've got. But I think like 0 to 6 months, for the most part, people that have trained a little bit are going easy. They're not giving you everything they've got, right? And then you can hit this lull where you don't know if you're getting any better or not because those people, as you start to get better, start to ramp things up. So now they're giving you a little bit more because they're giving you what you need, right? But you
Mhm.
have no idea what's going on. And that can be some of the hardest times because, wow, everything was pretty easy and people were helping me out. And then now, like, oh, I'm just I can't make any progress. I'm not getting anywhere. There can be a little time period you go through there. And I'd say for me, it was like that later white belt stage.
Mhm.
But you just have to, same thing, keep on trying to figure it out. And it can carry over if you let it, that whole kind of perseverance piece can carry over into everything in your life, right? If
Mhm.
you let it.
That's true. Just show up. Be
Yep.
curious.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing for me, just showing up and just doing more, just going to more classes, just being there.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, it'll
think
eventually
that
sink in. No one's good at jujitsu when they first start, right?
Mhm.
No one's good at shrimping.
That's true.
It's rare, right? Some people have some natural talent, but it is very rare.
Yeah. Did you pick up anything naturally? Like did anything come to you that was maybe easier for you than other people?
I think honestly, just like flexibility wise, I think like developing the guard was very natural and it was rewarding because even if I couldn't make anything happen, I couldn't sweep someone or get those awesome triangles yet, Deja, like it was it was rewarding to know that I could control someone bigger than me using my whole body, using my
Mhm.
legs, which are strong, right? And not be, I'm the one controlling now. I can't do anything with it, but I'm not the one on the side.
Mhm.
So that did come a
When
little natural.
yeah. When you start, well, not, well, yeah, maybe when you started, and like Michaela and I have talked about in previous podcasts, there's a difference between, and even an integration between hobbyists, and competitors, right? And then there's a mix between like a hybrid of the two, depending on, obviously like when you compete and whatnot. Did you, because like when you started, it wasn't super popular at that time, but then it started growing. When you entered, did you know that competition in jiu-jitsu was possible, a thing? And if not, like when did that start to come about, and when did you get the itch for it?
Yeah, I did not. I mean, I really started for self-defense reasons. Um, Matt and I were both medics in the military, so it was, let's see, I did most of that in California before we got to New Jersey, but it was always something kind of on the brain, right? And I wasn't a medic anymore once I got out and had started training jujitsu. But I had those couple moments where you're in the back of an ambulance with a patient who's combative, and like security forces has to ride along with you or whatever. But like, what would I do? I don't know how to hold this person down. I don't know how to defend myself, that kind of thing. So that was more my perspective going into training. And then uh, Matt and I, we really didn't. We're both introverts, right? We neither really like a lot of attention on us and that kind of thing. So when we started going to competitions, we didn't have. we we pretty much, I think, did all of them together. So we both competed. So there was that motivation there. Like, all right, are we doing this? Are you in? Am I in? Okay, let's go. We had each other's support, and like the gym we were training at was pretty self-defense focused anyway. So we might, tell them like on a Thursday night in class, like, oh yeah, we're going to go down to this Naga competition on Saturday, whatever. We don't want anyone to come watch us or coach us. And it was just, I don't know, just for me specifically, it was a way to like get rounds with women my size, right? Because that was few and far between. And it was, it was effective. Eventually start doing the competitions over. There was this one girl that I went with so many times over the years because we're both in kind of the same area, you know. You start to get to know those people that are in your divisions because you see them over and over. And the world of jiu-jitsu was much smaller back then. But that was a nice way to test things that I wasn't able to test in the gym, like on a similar body type to mine.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I don't know, it just kind of, competition for me just kind of happened.
Yeah, you just kind of fell into it.
Crazy idea, let's just go try it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
had the
that's
support of your
awesome.
boot. So like, because like, so that's how like your trajectory went. So now like watching people train, and you've seen so many people come through the mats and everybody, how do you know, but like besides people telling you, can
Yeah,
you tell right away if people are open, or like if they are going to be open to compete, if that would be something maybe that they would like to do?
time. Sometimes you can get that feel right away because that person gets on the mat and they're not even hesitant to, you know, get close to another person and put their weight on them and they're ready to go, right? And then other times, you get people like me too, who I'm just, I want to do it for self-defense. And then you start to probably see like they get really focused, they get a little more serious about it, and they're getting pretty intentional with their questions, and they just have that like kind of thirst for more. And it might just be that, they love the learning process, but too, a lot of times, that means like, hey, I want to get out there and test myself against someone who wants to kick my ass and someone I don't know. But yeah, you can see a little focus shift sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yeah. And then you can see some that are just, they want to do it right out the gate, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Did you like competing? Like, do you like it? Does it
Uh,
make you nervous?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even if you can't tell on the outside. I and usually you can't because, you know, a lot of it's internal. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I can't remember which competition it was, but I've told this story before just for other people that are asking, like, hey, I'm super nervous, you know? I'm no stranger to it. I walked out, I want to say it was a competition at Purple Belt. And I don't know if it'd been a little while since I competed or whatever. Because you can compete like regularly and kind of take those nerves down a little bit because you're used to the process, you're used to the adrenaline dump, you know, you're getting familiar with it. Will it ever go away? I don't think so. But you know, then a little too much time goes by and you get a little rusty right on that whole process. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the case. And I walked out and I tell everyone, have you ever, I don't know when these commercials stopped airing, so I might be aging myself too much, but the little V8 commercial with the people walking sideways, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't have my V8 today. You know, that's the whole,
I remember
the
those
whole
popular
thing.
V8 commercials.
Mm-hmm. But that's how I felt this one time walking out for a comp. Like I was walking crooked,
Sideways.
like everyone could tell, and just getting out, like getting to mat side, you know, it's so loud in there. Getting to mat side, like, and just starting to kind of, I just say I always take the nervousness off my fingertips kind of thing. And keep telling myself too, like, hold on a second. Oh, there was a stupid cold. Keep telling myself too, and I stole this from someone and I can't remember where I read it, so I can't give credit to the author, but like reframing your anxiety and your nervousness as excitement, right? Because if you think about a time that you were anxious or nervous and you think about how it makes your body feel, and then you think about a time you were excited, like those feelings aren't very different from each other. So that's kind of what I tell myself, and everything kind of quiets down as it gets closer to that match time. And then it's just like me and that person out there, you know, I kind of get that quieting of all the exterior noise and I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
get nervous.
getting pumped listening
Yeah,
to
but
this.
Michaela's over there flexing. Yo,
getting that
Heidi's the
adrenaline rush.
lion. I always use this example. I forgot who the author is, but there's this book called Restoring the Wisdom of the Body. It's like talking about trauma and these things, and it's like given the same scenario of like the lion and the gazelle, and it's talking about the physiological aspect of like they both experience the hair standing up on the back of their neck, their pupils dilate, their heart is racing, and one obviously is fleeting for their life and the other one is getting ready to, obviously they're fleeing to fight, you know, so they can catch this thing so they can obviously nourish themselves for life. But they're literally both experiencing the physiological same thing, but emotionally it's subscribed to something completely
Mm.
different for two different things. Obviously, like one's needed to flee and the other one's needed to fight. So Heidi's the lion.
I like that. And that's a perfect example.
Yeah. I'm never going to not see it now.
Well, now every time someone's nervous about eating, I'm going to send them to you, Deja, for a pep talk.
Hey, come this way. Got you.
Be the lion.
Be the lion. Yeah. I wish it'd be something better that we could offer Kate. Shout out to Kate. Haven't seen you in a while. But were we in Vegas or wherever it was? Like Kate, she was on the bottom and she had like that she was just in a position that like there was nothing else you could say. And I think at one point, but she was like just she had looked at you, but she was like away from you at that point. And then she looked at me and I just looked at her like I don't know.
Like during competition?
Yeah.
Don't die.
That's it. Don't die. I don't know. Survive.
It's a
Because we made eye
survivor.
contact and she gave me this look like, help me. I'm like, I can't, Kate.
Aw.
You got to do it all on your own under here.
Yeah. Whew. It gets rough out there sometimes. Okay. Um, okay, so speaking of people and like you noticing they're competing and whatnot, I know we talked about perseverance, and that's probably part of this question. While like what have you noticed regardless of timeline, what keeps people training? Like because some people take long breaks, whether it's for injury, whether it's for personal reasons, they move or come back or whatever.
Sure. Um, well, just kind of under the whole surface, right? Just a love for that learning,
Mm-hmm.
right? You go throughout your day to day. We're all adults now. We have a job that we already know how to do. You know, there's not too much challenging us on a daily basis, but kind of that love for learning, wanting to learn a new skill, and then their connectedness, right? Their connectedness to the group. That's a big thing. So you can probably think of a couple really good examples of folks that are just like, hey, you know, I live a little further away now, but this is just somewhere that's home to me, and I can't see it any other way. You know, they just get
Mm-hmm.
into that the group dynamic. It just fits them, and we try to maintain a place like that where everyone feels like that connectedness.
Mm-hmm.
I came back. Never leave. Yeah, rooted, strong root.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like your sequoias.
That that's
there you
right.
go.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, all right. You got the next one, Michaela?
Yeah, I thought of this one. Um, Heidi, what made you want to do an MMA fight?
Oh my goodness. You know how sometimes you just make those crazy decisions? Did I mention that yet?
Are you
Oh,
saying you're impulsive, Heidi?
at times. On a regular basis? No, I'm very
Methodical.
not impulsive. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, every once in a while I get that wild hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, let's see, my coach at the time was training one other guy. Um, I mean, he was everyone jujitsu, but training one other guy for MMA, and he wanted everyone to be a blue belt before they, you know, did an MMA fight to at least have that foundation um, of jiu-jitsu. And then, you know, he taught a little wrestling and then boxing. He grew up like boxing with his dad. His dad taught, and he's been doing it since he was a kid. You know, he didn't really teach boxing. It was primarily jiu-jitsu, but he was happy to, just the basics. Um, and I don't know. I was doing competitions at the time. Remember, I said that I saw that one girl all the time. It kind of got to be a small population of ladies that were hitting up to all those competitions around us. So I guess it was another new thing to try.
Heidi's like, I want to throw hands. I want to throw hands now.
Something new to get into.
Yeah, did you land any punches?
Maybe a couple. I don't know. It was a standard like
At least one
boxer
counts.
her versus jiu-jitsu, so I was more trying not to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have. We trained against like, you know, a padded wall in the gym, but we didn't have a cage. So
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to. I got her up against the cage and was trying to, you know, obviously from trying not to take punches because they're harder to throw from the cage, right? So trying to take her down, man, but I could not. I just didn't know how to take down off the cage.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kept kneeing her and work. So I threw a lot of knees, tried not to get hit. It was fun. It was exhilarating for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
that was just
You're
a kind of bucket list thing. I think I was 37 when I did it, and
Dang. Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
still a chance.
yeah. Now
Asia.
I'm good. I'll help anyone who wants to have fun with it though.
You got 1 year, Deja. Let's go.
I got 1 year.
Yep.
Actually,
Check
less
in.
than a year. I got less than a year. I got 9 months.
All right,
I
let's
mean,
do it.
honestly, I really only trained like 6 months. Outside of jiu-jitsu, I trained wrestling and boxing for about 6 months before I did that fight. So you're good.
Heidi's like, it's like 6 months. What do you like? What's the problem? You have 9. Okay. Hey, did you have a nickname?
Yeah. I did.
Heidi the Hitman.
Nope. And it was
see.
bullet shark.
Dang. What else could it be? Think of
Mm.
them.
It was bullet shark.
Heidi the Horror.
No.
I stay out of that genre.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an H word. I go with
Yeah. Or
hot.
maybe like something like angelic, like Heidi the Halo. I'm gonna send you up.
So funny story. It was bullet shark. Not an H.
What was
Asia
it?
loved it.
Bullet
Bullet
shark?
Shark.
Yeah.
Bullet shark. I'm never going to forget that.
Oh, I know.
Who
Do you have
gave
that tatted somewhere?
I do not, but it was just something silly that my coach made up because we'd put on, different music to train, of course, for MMA, just something to pump you up a little bit. And whatever station he had on, he's like, "What's that band you guys like? Bullet Shark?" It was Bullet for my Valentine,
Yeah.
but it
Bullet
was
shark.
just an accidental
that's
nickname.
I feel like it needs to be like a neck tat, Heidi, like a shark, like right,
Yeah.
like with a bullet. Mm-hmm.
When I
I'm getting
start
some
getting,
cool visuals.
when I start patting my neck,
Sticker
I'll
idea.
Would Heidi be riding the shark or would Heidi be the shark?
Heidi is the shark.
Okay.
Yeah. Great white.
Great white. For sure.
Or which one's more aggressive? A tiger, right? Are they known for more attacks?
Maybe.
I don't
Great
know.
whites get a bad rap because they're big, but I think tiger sharks are really the ones out here.
A little hammerhead.
Yeah.
Heidi the hammerhead. Bullet shark.
Bullet shark, hammerhead. Wow. Okay. Well, we learn something new every day. Didn't know this.
Yeah, me neither.
Never gonna forget. Ooh,
I don't share that one.
bullet shark. A sloth riding a bullet shark.
That's a sloth.
Yeah, like just going into battle like a bull.
All
Yep.
right. Noted.
Planted. Art ideas planted. All right, back to it. So talked about white to purple took 6 years. How long was it before your purple to black? In between there, then I have a follow-up question.
Quite a while. I believe total first degree now, maybe year to that. So maybe black belt was 2021. So purple belt was long because we moved, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't train for a little while we moved. Got to Kansas, started looking around, hey, we want to open a jiu-jitsu school. So purple belt was a long belt. Brown was probably 2 years. So that'll tell you that 2021. I should be better at math since I do accounting daily, but it's not all math.
So,
So from about 2014 to
oh, like 7
2019,
years?
like
Oh,
as a purple belt.
5 years?
Yeah, four, 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
that took we were still when we first started um, training under our black belt in Jersey, and then getting a school set up and all that kind of thing, and just kind of being remote from our kind of home base is something that was kind of specific to our journey, but the same thing can happen to everyone else too. You've seen people get stuck in a belt for quite a while because they move around, they start somewhere new. Um, purple belt's a good time for all that to happen too, because you have so much like fundamental knowledge, right? But you're more in that, and maybe Deja, you feel this way because that's a belt you just left behind, right? Like a lot happens at purple belt.
Yeah.
The world kind of opens up, right? You
Mm-hmm.
you start to explore a lot of other um, systems and just other instructors that you like, instructional wise and stuff like that, because you've figured out what you like to do at that point, and you're kind of searching for, well, what else can I bring into this whole mix? So you go to seminars and you might learn some things at competition that make you want to explore. So it's a good exploratory time, I guess, is that middle belt.
Yeah. Well, the follow-up question, I like the way Michaela wrote it. So you should read that one.
Which one?
The one, the achievement of black belt.
Yeah, so I read this on Reddit and I thought it was interesting. Is achieving your black belt a new beginning? And how I saw that was, you reach each level, and then once you
Yep.
reach the top black belt, like, I bet the doors just open. I bet there's so much more knowledge um, once you gain that. And like what you're saying at purple belt, like there's just so much that opens up at purple belt. Do you feel that
Yeah.
way at black belt too?
Oh, absolutely. And not just like, competition wise too. It's a whole nother world, because now you're mixed in with people who've been training since they were 5 or, same amount of time as you. It doesn't matter. So there's that. Um, plus you've kind of, you did the exploration at purple belt or wherever that landed in your journey for you. And you've really got things that you like. You've got your game, right? You really like honed in a lot of what you do. And if you just kind of keep riding along and you can keep adding to that, right? You can keep honing in on details and eventually, if you're like me, you get a little bored, right? And you want to add more to it. So at black belt, it's like you can watch something and not practice it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I say it? Like, maybe you're watching something, you need to go do it, you need to go back and watch it again, and oh wait, I forgot that part or whatever. But sometimes, and not everything, but sometimes at black belt, you just watch something and you're like, oh, I could do that. I could just easily
Mm-hmm.
implement that. That makes so much sense. So I think if you're looking at that like from a white belt or blue belt perspective, you don't know when you're watching something like, is that good? Is that going to work? Is that going to work for me? You have no idea. But looking at it now, it's like I might look at it and think that, and here, comes into the part of being a non-student anymore and having an academy is, that's something that would really work for Deja, right?
Mm. Oh,
Or it
that's
might not
fun.
always be
Yeah.
what I'm looking for, but it might not be something I like for my body type or my game or whatever. But you can evaluate things very well, so you can get through a whole lot more, like you don't have to watch, um, the whole thing if it's something that just seems like, oh, this kind of piqued my interest. Oh, no, move on.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I know, like I probably won't pull in as part of my game, but then the something that I find that I can, it's just easier to find that stuff. There's so much information out there, and there's so many instructionals and so much oof and video that you can watch, but when you find something that's like money for you, it's gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much easier to weed through it all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How are you guys able to store that much information in your brains? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, it's repetition for us too. Like, if I say I want to teach a series, it's usually something that, for one, either I really like it and I think that, a lot of other people would, or it's something that we notice, like everyone at the gym is playing, a lot of half guard, deep half. Like, all right, I don't love deep half that much, but I've got to go and dive into this and then play with it for a little while, see if it works, which has been a challenge, just, being off the mats a little bit. But if I can experiment with it and it, make it work a little bit for me, even though it's not something that I think will be part of my game, like I want to do that before I teach it. That makes it easier to remember. And then teaching it is repetition. And then, I might, over time, if I'm not playing with it myself, I might forget some of those details. So yeah, I got to go back. I got to go back and I got to look at it again and I got to refresh. And that's the part that has to be intentional, because if you're just sticking to what you already know and uh, not branching out, like forcing yourself to intentionally look at other things, then you're not gonna grow. And either way is okay, right? You can keep a solid game of like what you have now and just refine it and just be awesome at that. Because there's so much. And like just probably watching some competitions and stuff like that, there are certain people that they just do a couple things really freaking well. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right.
Mhm.
And then maybe more the hobbyist, it's more fun probably to be able to go out there and add and mix in other things. So, but a lot of times it has to be intentional.
Mhm. I
That's
think what
what
I'm
you're.
kind of picking up on, because that was, I mean, you answered the question of like your perspective from going
Mm.
from, just like pure student to teacher, because there's always, like, you're still always going to be a student no matter like the teacher. But, like to Michaela's question of like, how do you retain so much or you learn so much? And it seems like just because like the natural exposure of always kind of being on to just naturally of like, oh, this would, like this might not be good for me, but it'll be good maybe for Deja or Michaela or
Yeah.
something. And then so even like just saying that, and I think like just seeing it, you kind of
Mhm.
naturally, like even if you don't practice it, it's just you're always just, it's like a sponge, like it's always just kind of moisture is always just kind of going in there. I know it's a weird visual, but it's like the sponge never dries.
And you're giving value to it, right?
That was a good one, wasn't it?
You're giving value to it too. You're making it something that you want to remember, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's how
then,
you retain.
and then I don't have to remember it so much because I can just watch you do it. That refreshes me too.
Dang.
Dang.
Oh, that's crazy. So just watching us is refreshing all the everything in your
Oh,
brain.
for sure. And I might like, I don't know, think about, oh, you could add this little detail here or there or whatever. And it might be something I haven't thought about for a year. It just it's in there
Just
somewhere.
let me pull this
Just
out
a recall.
somewhere. Yeah, that's awesome.
Sometimes my RAM runs a little low, but
Update. That's okay.
just recalling it.
Yeah. So I mean, so when you think about like what that looks like in your perspective, and then like Michaela had already asked, like obviously black belt new beginnings, it opens up so much stuff. Do you think that that contributes to your motivation and your focus, like once you reach back black belt, to continue that like enjoyment and curiosity? Because obviously you're still growing yourself and learning, but also kind of like seeing, I would think, like seeing kind of like your philosophies and the way you go through your students' eyes, or the way your students you know role. Is that part of your motivation as like a black belt to continue showing up?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, because it was difficult. Everyone's probably had some little injury, right? And it's always hard to be off the mat for that. And everyone struggles with it a little differently. And, every injury is different, and how long are you actually off the mat? But that's part of the reason after this one, and for anyone that's out there that doesn't know, of course you compete and you take risks. You take risks just training jiu-jitsu. Of course, it's like any other contact sport, but you're kind of increasing that chance if you choose to uh, compete, of course, right? Because everyone's gone 100%, 110%. So the knee was just a kind of freak thing. It wasn't even part of a submission or anything like that. Just the way that it folded, and that probably kept me off the mat for the longest of any injury so far. So, and that's just something that I've competed a lot. I had fun. I'm happy to kind of end that portion of my jiu-jitsu journey, just because I don't want to be off the mat. I want to be able to be there for you guys. So if something like that, like taking that risk, is going to keep me off the mat for so long that I can't even get in there to be there for the students and train a little bit, like that chapter has to kind of come to a close. So yes, you guys keep me absolutely motivated to be in there. I can't have Deja like taking my back, so I can't be
It never
out
happens.
for so long that you can't catch me, Deja.
Never could catch you. I will never. Not happening.
It's coming. It's coming.
Maybe when you're like 70, I take advantage.
But it's motivating. It's like I wanna teach you guys everything that I learned along the way, but earlier than I learned it. And if I can, teach you the little things that will help you to focus more on longevity and be able to be in the sport for a long time.
Heart, we love you, Heidi. All right.
But hey, I definitely sometimes I just want to be a student too, right? We all go through
Yeah.
that part.
Don't ask me nothing. Leave me alone. Yeah. Or I need to work on something, so I can't talk to you about this or work with you about it till I get it down. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
when you couldn't roll,
balance for sure. What's that?
when you couldn't roll because of your knee, did that really
Yeah.
bother you? Like, were you feeling really aggressive? Are you an aggressive person, Heidi?
I don't think so. I think I'm a competitive person, and because I've chosen, this for my kind of hobby, I guess. That's where it comes out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the lion, the bullet shark.
Not aggressive, competitive. Reframe.
But not as much it definitely it makes me feel better when I get to roll, just a little more in balance because there's an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, that's the part that's like for me, whereas the rest of the time, the whole student teacher thing, right? I got time to focus on, worrying about everybody else and like the kids, right? There's so many different learning styles, like unique to each and every one of them. So in the times where I'm not like focusing on myself or whatever, I'm trying to figure that stuff out. I'm trying to figure out like,
Mm-hmm.
man, how can I, relate to this person a little bit better, or how can I get through? Like, what teaching style works best for them because it's unique, and that doesn't change with the adults either. They, of course, can learn a little bit more effectively on their own, but with the kids, especially like they're not watching probably YouTube instructionals at home and adding to their game, right? We're it
Mm-hmm.
for them. So now it's a little more balanced where if you're always worried about all that kind of stuff and you can't kind of train on your own, the balance is like, I get to roll and not think about all that stuff I can focus on, what was that thing I saw 6 months ago that I really wanted to kind of implement or whatever. So if you like when I do get to roll now, it's a little more exploratory, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
May not always end up in the best position, but I can usually recover. But it's fun. Take a little more risk.
Heidi's out here like exploratory, like a cave, but in jujitsu.
Having the depth,
Yeah, let's see what's
never
in
ending,
here.
dude. It's
Just
never
keep
ending.
going.
Yeah,
It
that's kind of
doesn't.
wild. Another good visual.
Yep. Boom. Um, well, obviously you've 17 years in the game and still going. You've seen a lot of different things, seen a lot of different people, a lot of different belts given, seen all that. What has been one of your biggest takeaways as you've trained and you've seen people come off and on the mats?
I mean, I think like we talked a little bit about the connectedness, right? If you're talking about people kind of coming and going, or you being the constant and watching people kind of come and go, that community kind of aspect of things is the bigger part of jiu-jitsu, I think, than just the training and the competing and the individual classes and stuff like that. Like we have such a collection of, you've got the lawyer and then the car salesman and all these people that may not like know each other or even end up hanging out with each other in the civilian world, right? We kind of look at this as like uh, a little corner of the world. It, anything else that might interfere, outside like religious stuff or political motivations or whatever, just everybody kind of leaves that at the door, and we're just there to train and learn with each other. And that I think is the coolest part for someone who maybe doesn't feel accepted in the other facets of their life. And I think that's what really like going back and forth. We've had people that left or moved or whatever and, kind of follow up messages that say like, oh, wish I was still there. It's not the same kind of thing. And, it sucks. And I hope that they find somewhere that, they feel that way again. But, that's a big, important part of it all, I think.
Was that your guys' intention when you and Matt opened a gym? Did you talk about that? Like, hey, I want this to be a very welcoming and open place, or did that just happen naturally?
It just happened naturally. I think with
Yeah.
just the way I think kind of the way we both approach jujitsu, and then probably a little personality based, like you tend to attract people like yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of started to form on its own. And by the time you kind of see it, you're like, ah, wow, we have this really cool thing. And then you're aware of it, and then you really try to protect it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Okay, not just a bullet shark, a grizzly. She's mama bear. Where the little cubs coming in?
Mama bear in a cave.
Oh, dang, in full hibernation mode. don't see her when she's hangry. We're giving you all kinds of spirit animals.
It's okay. I like animals.
Do you have a spirit animal?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Matt does.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
guess
is it his
mine's
spirit
still up
animal or is
for
that
debate.
him?
Mine's still up for debate. So,
What's the debate? I thought it was a gorilla.
yeah.
A lion or a shark?
Or a grizzly bear. I mean, yeah. I feel like a grizzly bear might be fitting because I said it was like that's nature is not nice. Very cruel to make grizzly bears look so cute and cuddly, and you just want to run up to them, catch them on a wrong day. It's over. And slow.
Yeah.
Painful.
I mean,
Yeah.
slow and patient and methodical is the best way to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I would 100% agree with you on the community. Like I said, there'll never be another one like Matt and Heidi at Ground Theory. That was a big thing for me. I mean, I think sometimes not you don't because you don't know what you don't know. And I know when I moved up to Minnesota for a few years, and I was lucky enough to be able because I have family here to come back and visit during breaks and stuff. You know, like I did really like my gym up there. Really enjoyed the people. They were super welcoming and not a butt. And it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It's just obviously it's a different relationship because I'd been with you all, from the start, but at the same time, there is a noticeable, just kind of different spice that I think you and Matt have kind of cultivated for everybody. And I mean, I think 10 out of 10 people would say exactly the same thing. There's just something different with our space and the people that we interact with and the community that you built within the gym that I mean, not to make it crazy, but it's like crack. We just got to keep coming back.
It is overwhelming sometimes to hear all of that from folks. It's like we talked about, it's not something that we try to create a call,
It just happened.
Someone just started
Yeah,
stirring the Kool-Aid.
he did.
We just got a little magic at our gym. It's not crack, Deja.
It's not. It's magic. Heidi magic. Heidi and Matt magic.
It's a unique little group of people we got,
It's like Heidi dust. Like magic potion. It's like Heidi does. Like you're like I'm in. And never go anywhere else.
Well, I hope that's not true because I hope that if anyone has to move, right, we've got college students and whatnot. I hope that whether different, in a way, you can always find something that, gives you that sense of community, like somehow has happened here.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be the same. I was kidding. Go out there, train as long as you can. But if you can come back and visit, y'all know who the one and only is. Yeah. Where your ride or dies, Heidi.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Say
It's
something that's on site.
overwhelming sometimes, Deja. It's
Yeah.
you feel a little imposterish. You're like,
Mm.
I didn't do anything great with my, jujitsu time, right? Or my life, whatever. I'm not any big shot, right? I'm just
Whatever.
took me a
Whoa.
long time to learn stuff too. And
Whoa. We won't listen
I
to this
struggle just
blasphemy,
as
okay?
much as anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. Like, it has to be weird to kind of be the leader of all of
Yeah,
us.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of responsibility.
it is. It
And we
weighs
all
heavy
look up to
sometimes.
you. Like, that has to feel weird.
But like, it's
Definitely
no
does.
like I get all the feelings, and the feelings are there, and it doesn't mean that you're not an imposter, because
Hmm.
you're a human. And I think we really resonate with the life experiences and the genuine and like authenticity of it all. And I think it's more about the connection and the lasting imprint that is more so why we think of you and know of you as the GOAT. It's not the accolades out here. It's the life, how you made me feel accolades, Heidi.
Hmm. The good
Get into the
vibes.
feeling, Deja.
That's right. Got you a hug. Next time I see you, you'll be spared tomorrow. Cause I
I
got to
gave
do
you a
some
hug
stuff.
Thursday night.
I mean, but that we were working on, that doesn't count.
I
Oh,
didn't get
during
a
a roll
hug.
doesn't count.
I only got a hug because we were working on a move.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Those are
that's
the best
okay.
ones.
Monday.
That's
Yes,
just a hug.
for all those
Surprise,
folks out
Heidi.
there who don't, everyone who
No
doesn't do
surprise
jujitsu
hugs.
yet. Doesn't matter if
No.
you're a hugger. I'm not a hugger,
Heidi's
but
not. Don't do it.
I'll hug
I'm
you
gonna
on the
look at
mat.
her and I'm gonna wait. I stare. I stare, and if I get the go ahead, it's access. But I don't move until I get the go ahead.
That's funny. You're just waiting.
Okay, today's today. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Well, kind of. I guess maybe kind of shifting more into the fun stuff. You know, um, jiu-jitsu athletes. Anybody that you particularly follow, you like, a favorite that you like to watch videos or just maybe watch compete?
I've got so from way, way back, right? Leticia Ribeiro has been one of the ones that I've followed for a long time because when we first started, there were books on jiu-jitsu, right? There wasn't YouTube.
Dang.
There weren't
Gotta read.
instructional. There was like the Jiu-Jitsu Encyclopedia and a few other books. But when I think she's around my age too, when some stuff finally started coming out online, like her videos were some of the first ones that I watched. And she was a good little guard and back player too. So I really liked her stuff, and everything kind of that I saw from her really sat well with me. And then Emily Clark, I mean, she was first women's camp I went to. So that was at Blue Belt. And that
Dang.
was like seeing a unicorn, right? I'd never seen a black belt before.
Yeah, I bet that was crazy. Like your first time seeing a woman's black belt. Like,
Oh yeah. And 30 women in gis in the same room. Yeah.
Hmm.
I
shock to
didn't
the
know that
system.
existed.
Yeah, that's awesome. We need to go back to another one.
Yeah.
I know.
They're doing something in June, I think, or July, for the ladies that were in Pennsylvania. But it'll be
Good
in
time for it.
I think it's back in Pennsylvania or it's in the New Jersey area. But planting that seed for people, um, if you're interested in a women's camp, grappling camp, I know I had a really great experience the last two I went to. Thanks you, Heidi, for introducing me to those. And we went to the one in Wisconsin last year. So, any ladies out there listening, I would highly recommend if you can afford it, and even you could budget for it. Go check it out because I think it gives you a boost in areas that maybe you didn't realize that you wanted.
Yeah, and it's a whole different feel being on the mats, and if you can be there and get to firsthand experience Emily Block harassing the old lady, you'll have.
Well, you saw her like two different people almost, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that first camp that I went to I'd have been in my early 30s.
Dang. Time just keeps going.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Okay.
still here.
You're right.
Yeah. Do you have another one over there, Michaela?
Yeah,
I've been checking them on.
yeah, I see that.
Trying to keep us organized.
Down pat.
That's right.
All right. So when did you know that you love jiu-jitsu? Like when did that click for you? That you're like, I
A
want to
little
do
while.
this.
A little while. I'd probably say like a year in, and that came with. So remember, the original motivation was like self-defense, right? So probably a year in was when I had the feeling of like, okay, in the outside world, outside of the jiu-jitsu gym, right? Like most people don't train. I could defend myself if something happened, right? It's the parking lot and it's late and I'm alone. And it isn't just like the skills that you now have, but it's a little more awareness of like, oh, I'm paying a little more attention now because I have a more realistic expectation of like what's out there when maybe I never really noticed before. And now I have, skills that might kind of back it up. So that was motivating to know that I had gotten to that point to have that kind of realization. And yeah, I think I knew from then on that I was going to keep on with it.
Like the little engine that could.
Yeah, Deja, what about you? Was there a time where it clicked for you?
That I loved it?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, probably the first month, to be honest.
Damn.
I wouldn't say but I had already had I was already super into like MMA before I had ever had the chance to train. I was always the kid that wanted to go into taekwondo and karate, but that just wasn't something my family was doing. So when I finally got to do it, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die at warm-ups and everybody's choking me and I'm so sore. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. And I'm just being a natural athlete, I love to compete. Right. So that was just kind of well, even though it makes me super nervous, it's just that outlet kind of thing. So it's just another thing to do outside. Once I was at that point, I had been done with collegiate track for a few years. So I was really wanting to get back into something. That wasn't, no shame, kickball was cool, but I needed something, to for my body for just so I can move it around more than kickball. So yeah, it was the first month.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think it took me about 6 months to a year. I'd say maybe 6 months, but I think my first competition's when I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. Just feeling that.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, everybody knows, I know we've talked about it multiple times, but like Heidi's not just the bomb.com when it comes to jiu-jitsu. I mean, protection, mama bear, mentoring, life lessons. If you ever have a question about something that you need fixed, something you need organized, a, a thought to put together about doing something, I guarantee you Heidi has an answer. Hobby Heidi out here.
Not an answer,
Is
not
her
an
all,
answer, just an idea.
it's
They're
still
just
an
ideas, not
idea is
answers.
an answer to a lot of people. The alter ego. Heidi be hobbying out here, everybody. Yeah, so how many hobbies off the top of your head? Maybe you've been thinking about this because this was a question. How many hobbies do you have? Or do you have, yeah, how many hobbies do you have at a time, actually?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at a time, like 3 to 4 is probably enough. Right? 3 to 4 is enough.
A
That's
Dang.
handful
right.
of hobbies.
That's
Just
all I
3 to
can
4.
juggle. Yeah,
That's
that's it.
it.
That's
And
it.
that's on top of your 2 jobs, right? That's on top of you being an accountant and teaching. You're busy, Heidi. Hobby
I
Heidi.
mean, teaching's a
Hobby
hobby.
Heidi. Dang. Handful of hobbies at all times.
Well, it's fun, you start like, I like to garden, right? So then you start getting into that stuff, and then you start making kombucha, and then if you've made kombucha, you probably want to try fermentation, and that's just how my brain works.
Yeah. Hey, just know too, if you get if you eat something of Heidi's, it's not like your average stuff. It's like a Food Network show.
Mm-hmm.
I like to
Amazing.
cook.
Ooh. I wonder if we need to get you on I don't know, that might be a lot of pressure, but if it was like less time and less pressure, we need to get you something on like Iron Chef. Ooh. If they had like the Great British Cooking Show, but you could do like the American version. We need to get you on a competition, like a cooking competition.
I don't think I could do the time constraint. I've seen people go on there and they're like, oh, I didn't know that 20-minute. No, I need to be able to be relaxed. I like
You
to
could
tweak
practice
recipes
before to
and
see.
I don't know.
We'd be like, okay, you got 30 minutes, double chocolate, angel food cake right now.
See, that turns a fun hobby into a job, though.
Does it?
Yeah,
Dang. All right. Well,
I gotta stay chill with my hobby.
Stay chill.
with a handful of hobbies.
What's your favorite
Like
hobby?
I mean, it's gotta be jiu-jitsu. I've done it the longest. I wouldn't have stuck around if it wasn't,
Well, that's already a given. So I really wouldn't consider that a hobby. I just say that's a way of life.
Yeah.
So then what's a solid number 2?
Solid number 2. I mean, I do like to cook and bake. I don't differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
It's my creative outlet. I mean, jiu-jitsu is a creative outlet too, but I was never, good at drawing or painting or anything artistic. So, like, cooking is kind of my creative outlet.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Cooking and painting with Heidi and Michaela.
All right.
Yeah, as long as you cover the painting part. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Teach us how to make bushes. I don't know.
That's easy.
And then Heidi can have like the little tarts, little custard tarts, little
There
finger
you go.
foods, right? At the lock-in.
Yeah.
Those are Deja's favorite. Yeah, I think when
Hey.
you paint the mural, Michaela, I think some sequoia trees need to go on there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Ooh, great idea.
Ooh. All right, more visuals going.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dang, you just like a web that just went and created. I just saw that in your eyes right there, Michaela. Like that was a true artist. Like I saw the visual, then it was like, ooh, I see 50 different things I can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. I didn't get started on that.
See, and
Yeah.
you can't be rushed in your painting, right? That's how I feel about cooking.
Do what?
You can't
Not
rush your.
you can't be rushed in your
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah, I struggle
Like
with that.
dinner might be ready at 7, but it might be 9. It depends
Whoa, 7 or
how things
9?
are.
Well, guess you better eat a snack.
There's
Yeah, I
always
feel
snacks.
that.
Hmm. All right. Well, I checked off all the questions, unless Michaela, you have any follow-up questions or comments um, before we conclude and get to our quote.
Yeah, I don't really. I did have one that I remembered.
All right.
Um, was Matt your main training partner then?
Yeah, for a
Like,
bit.
yeah.
There was there was yeah, you're like, did he smash you? No, he was nice, but when you're training with, because you have a sibling who trains, when you're training with your significant other or your sibling, right? Everything hurts more. It just does. You see that little
Oh.
pin right here on your arm, right? When they're moving around. I do the same thing. But just is that way. I see it
Dang
with
it,
the kids.
Matt.
But it's just there's the feelings there, so it hurts more. But yeah, he was for a while, and I had the like one other woman initially the first couple months of training, but of course, we're not each there all the time for each other, so you
Mhm.
just got to do it. Got to keep on training, and then get into the first bigger gym, like a military person would come in, and then there's another woman in class. You're texting each other, which nights are you going to class this week? But trying to make it all match up. But yeah, most of the time Matt had to train with me. Work with the work with the small person.
Hey, he was lucky to train with you.
That's right. It was the other way around.
He's so good at working with anyone, right?
hmm
It's awesome to have.
Yeah. We love you, Matt.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, that wasn't bad, right, Heidi? That's painless.
Well, we did good. We did good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
seamless.
Smooth.
Yeah.
We could
Enlightened ones. Take note.
we could keep going.
Yeah. Before we get to our quote, not to put you on the spot, Heidi, but what would be like a last message to like just give people, whether they want to start training, they've stopped training, on the fence about coming in, or really hesitant maybe to even think about training? What would be a message that you could give them?
I mean, we've seen a lot of those little initial emails, like from Baby D, and a lot of times the message is like, "Hey, I kind of want to start this. I don't know how to get in shape for it. I don't know if I'm ready for it," kind of thing. So there really isn't, other than like maybe swimming and maybe struggling underwater sometimes, right? There's no other way to get ready for jiu-jitsu. So unless you want to practice shrimps at home, like just come in. Nobody's judging you. Everyone's sucked at it at first. No one cares what it looks like. Just come in and experience the community, right? There's so many people that are there for different reasons. And I think, you'll find someone who clicks with you that is kind of there for the same reasons you are. Whether it's not everyone competes, right? Not everyone wants to. Um, Not everyone maybe even loves jujitsu that much yet. Maybe they're not there yet, but they like the community, and it's something they can't find like elsewhere in life. So try it out. Be uncomfortable. there's many times, like in life, you've got to be uncomfortable, right? So get okay with it. It'll serve you in other areas.
The goat, Heidi.
I know you guys are feeling that too. It is the way it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, can we segue to this quote? I think that's a perfect segue. Okay, here we go, enlightened ones. Quote, like any art, martial arts is ultimately self-knowledge. A punch or a kick is not to knock the hell out of the guy in front of you, but to knock the hell out of your ego, your fear, or your hangups. Once there is a clear, then you can express yourself clearly. Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we always do a repeat, Heidi. 2 times. So some people, you hear it one time. It's like, I got lost in the sauce. I don't even know what happened. So I'm going to read again. Enlightened ones, here we go. Number 2. Like any art, martial arts is ultimately self-knowledge. A punch or kick is not to knock the hell out of your guy in front of you, but to knock the hell out of your ego, your fear, or your hangups. Once that is clear, then you can express yourself clearly. Bruce Lee. Great. Self-knowledge. Keep showing up. Persevere. Show your resilience, grit. And you can do it with a smile on your face like Heidi does most days. Yeah. Well, I know we're super appreciative, Heidi. Thanks for spending your night chatting with us and letting the people get to know you a little more.
Hey, thank you guys for putting this together.
Yeah. Anytime.
We finally got her. Anytime, Heidi.
Just took a few months, but that's all right.
Yeah. Patience is a virtue.
That's right. See, you guys persevered.
That's right. Well, enlightened ones, until we see and talk to you all again, we appreciate it. Once again, this is Deja.
This is Michaela.
And Heidi.
Back there. All right. We will talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
Thank